What is up, Tube users, and welcome back to another fantastically fun games for under $15. Today, we are talking about a great game that is probably in my top five of just campaigns for a game of all time, and that is Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist. This game usually has a pretty steep price for how long ago it came out at $30, but for a AAA style game and AAA style production, $30 isn't bad, especially compared to today's standard of usually $70 for a AAA game. But right now, this game is on sale for $7.50, which is an absolute steal and a must have for anyone who just enjoys the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell franchise. I have to admit, though, I'm not the hugest fan of the Tom Clancy games. I think Rainbow Six Siege is probably the greatest, considered the greatest Tom Clancy game of all time, and it's just not my style of game. I don't really like that game all that much. The old Splinter Cell games I did play back in the day, but none of them I really have like that good of memory of, or just any fond memories of it. But this game it's one of the very few games that is just I mean, there is like multiplayer, there is co-op and stuff, but just playing the campaign, it's one of the few games that I've actually gone back and played through multiple times, and that just says something about how good the story and the missions are in this campaign. And I didn't check to see if the multiplayer servers were active. I think you have to go through some of the campaign missions in order to unlock it, and I was just playing on a fresh save here, so I wasn't able to see. But I mean, I can't imagine, even if there was a like a multiplayer like fan base for this game, I doubt it'd be that big, and probably be tough to get matches just for how old this game is and how many just different games of this genre are out there. But I do remember it being really fun, and the co-op in this game is really fun. But honestly, the main selling point, I think, for this game is the campaign itself. And it's both a combination of the story of the campaign and just how gameplay works in it. There's just so many things, big and small, that just make it so much fun to play. Like, one of my favorite things is there's 3 different options basically for how to approach just going into each mission. You have, I think it's assault, which is just going in without silencers, gun blazing, just try and kill everything that moves. You have panther, I believe is the other one, which is like silent but deadly, just trying to take out enemies silently, not get caught or anything. And then there's, I forget what the last one is, but it's basically non-lethal. So there's not a whole lot of non-lethal tactics that you have. You do have like your melee takedown that will just knock people out. You do have like a stun gun and stuff like that. So there is options, obviously, for a non-lethal approach, which is kind of cool. And just how all of those combine, how the point system and the gadgets and the different upgrades you get for your guns work, and how you improve your character through each mission. It just is so fun and so cool just for a campaign. Like, it's normally something you don't see just for story missions, is this like character progression, but in this game they just nail it, and it is absolutely perfect. And it's one of the reasons why I've come back and played this campaign multiple times, is just to get that character progression that you have. And just to give you a brief idea of how the character progression works, basically when you load up a mission, you get to choose your different weapons, your different gadgets, basically your loadout, and you can like upgrade your weapons. You can get upgraded tactical equipment, you can get upgraded grenades and stuff like that. And basically the way you get the money to purchase those upgrades is by doing things in the missions. There's different like intel that you'll get, In this mission, I kind of just went through it. I didn't try and go see all that much, but there's different things, like there's high value targets that you can arrest that will give you a bonus. There's laptops that you can hack to get you a bonus of weapons. And then at the end of the mission, you get points for like how well you did. So obviously going non-lethal will get you the most points. The Panther silent but deadly approach gets you the second most, and then full on assault gets you the least amount of points. And based on how many points you get in your run, you'll unlock or you'll gain money. And I think it's just like a times 10 multiplier from your points or something of how much money you get. So it's just a really simple and basic way, and it makes it so you do want to try and take the non-lethal approach if you're trying to go for upgrades. But I mean, it still ends up, even if you went full on assault, if you're killing everything, it still ends up paying pretty well. And another huge and great thing about this game is the graphics. I mean, this game came out 10 years ago, and it feels like a game that just came out today. It honestly holds up so well. The graphic quality, I think I'm just like on like the ultra settings, which runs super smooth on my PC, which I mean isn't like a high-end supercomputer by today's standards, but it runs super well and it just looks amazing. Just it's incredible to think about that this game came out 10 years ago and it looks like this. It really goes to show that this game does have a lot of great qualities to it. And obviously the biggest selling point, especially for a Tom Clancy game, is the gameplay. And I think that this game, compared to most of the other Tom Clancy games, has the best gameplay. Obviously, Rainbow Six is something totally different for a Tom Clancy game, but this, just like the stealth shooter as it is really fun, and just all the different things you can do, like getting these executes to do like a combo move and stuff is really fun. Just being able to take out all these different light sources to give yourself more cover and darkness. Like, I mean, you're basically just a thief in the night kind of thing, just going around, and it's really fun to see how easy it is to do all that. Like, every single light source can either be like turned off by a switch or just can be shot out. And it's really easy to tell when you're in the cover of darkness versus in plain daylight. So it's just really well done. And I mean, each level is so well designed to just how many different secrets there are, and how each secret gets you some like money usually, and just different things to unlock. It just is really fun to just explore these areas, because each of the maps, I feel, are probably some of the best level design maps in just a campaign in general. But enough about the good. Let's dive into some of the bad in this game. Obviously, I think most of the good outweighs the bad, but it's not a perfect game by any means, so let's just talk about some of the low points of this game. So first off, in by far the biggest downfall to this game is that even though you can buy it on Steam, and that's where it's on sale for $7.50 right now, you do have to launch it through the Ubisoft launcher. And oh man, I have 4 launchers on my computer. I have Steam, I have the Epic launcher, I have the Blizzard launcher, and I have the Ubisoft launcher. The Ubisoft launcher is by far the worst launcher, and it's not even close. I mean, I don't like the Epic Games launcher either, which, I mean, I do have some games on there, and I just hate using the Epic Games. Obviously, Steam is the best, but playing this game and having to go through Ubisoft is just such a nightmare, and it does make it hard to enjoy. But it's it launches through there, right? So like obviously you have to have a Ubisoft account. I think you have to download the launcher in order to play it. So there's just like this barrier of entry just to play this game, which is so frustrating. Like I don't understand why they need this for this game, and it really does take away from how great this game is and how fun it is to play. And then really the only other complaint I have for this game is the aiming can be kind of clunky, especially, I mean, the pistols are all right, but some of like the submachine guns and stuff, like, I mean, you're basically using a pistol for most of it because it is the like best gun to use, and it's like the most accurate. And if you're trying to stealth take out guys and one shot kill, your pistol is going to be your best option because the submachine guns and stuff, you have this like third person view and it's not like straight on dead accurate that you can get like a pinpoint to it. It's just kind of a circle around the area where the guys are. Obviously it does show when your like hit markers are in a kill target, like it will be a kill, it will flash red, but it's kind of clunky and it's not the most intuitive, I would say. The other thing that I just showed just a little bit ago was some of the guys would just get stuck on some sort of terrain or something and they would phase out into multiple versions of themselves. It was just kind of funny to see, but it does, if you're trying to go stealth, especially in a stealth shooter like this, having like 3 different heads on one guy to try and take out was a little bit tough and kind of takes you out of the immersion of the game and can be kind of frustrating. Oh, and I just noticed on the Steam page that multiplayer and online features are no longer available for this product. So unfortunately, they don't have the multiplayer. It doesn't say anything about co-op, but obviously you can still play the single player campaign, and that is the main selling point and the best part about this game, in my opinion. But I mean, other than that, I think everything about this game is so good. I mean, the gameplay is super fun and interesting. The transitions between, like right here, between a cutscene to gameplay is just so smooth. The graphics for a 10-year-old game are top notch, and it runs super smooth. Like when I got this game probably close to when it came out originally, and obviously I didn't have as good of a PC as I did then, and it still ran super smooth and played really well. And with these kind of graphics, it's just kind of crazy to see how it's really not dated at all. Gameplay wise, graphics wise, everything just feels like a game of today. And obviously this goes through the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell story. So like this first part of the game, it has a lot of callbacks to previous games. So if you're a fan of the Tom Clancy games, I think that this is the best Splinter Cell game, and you don't need to know the story. Like I didn't personally know the story of the Splinter Cell series all too well before this, and it still is really fun. It like gets you right into the story very quickly, and you just get into the gameplay of it super quickly, which is always a great way to start out a campaign, is just get right into it and get to shooting, you know? And it's just a rare and just such a refreshing commodity to see your character upgrade through this story and get these different gadgets, different upgrades, and just become more powerful the more that you do, the more secrets that you unlock and all of this stuff. It's just it's such a great design for a campaign, and it's definitely top 5 for me in terms of like just how the campaign plays in general. The story of it, the gameplay of it, I mean, just everything is top notch, and it is the reason to get this game. Obviously, I think the co-op works. It may not. And the multiplayer was fun while it lasted, but obviously this is 10-year-old game, and most of the time the games that old won't have much multiplayer left, but just the story of it is definitely, for the price it's at right now, 100% worth it. But yeah, I think the biggest barrier to entry is having to go through the Ubisoft launch, which is just absolutely horrendous. But honestly, I feel like this is one of the few games that Ubisoft has that's actually worth it to play through the Ubisoft launcher, and that's really saying something coming from me, because I absolutely hate it. It's the worst launcher. It's horrendous. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
That rhythm.